This is what became of AZ, my old Simic control deck. I was getting bored of it, and I wanted to build something new, but I didn't really want to start all over again. So I decided to take it and combine it with my custom Balthazar, my D&D character, Commander Chaos deck, Chaos Wheels. So I took all the useful cards that I could out of AZ, the cards that I could put in a high-power Grixis deck, took the cards that I had that would actually work in said deck from the Chaos deck, and started working on a Nekusar deck. I've had a Nekusar deck before. The one that I had was Chaos Wheels. Nekusar was there for the colors. I very rarely would cast it, and I started to use different commanders instead because I didn't want to use Nekusar. After a while, it became, let's see, I think it was something in Ludwig. File Smasher? I can't remember. But anyway, this is not a Chaos deck. This is designed to be high power, efficient, and extremely cruel. Now, I need to do some more testing with it because I'm sure there are cards that may need to change, may need to come out, but it was also... my fate was kind of sealed when this Death is Temporary, Metal is Forever Secret Lair came out. I hate that I gave Wizards of the Coast more money. I did pre-order this set, but God, that card is gorgeous. Sure, you know what Nekusar does? It burns people for drawing cards. So this is my high-power Nekusar deck. It's not control, but it has control. It's not stacks, but it has stacks. I mean, I'm trying to play something as cruel as I possibly can. It's not going to be CEDH because Nekusar can't fit in competitive Commander, but I wanted it to be as nasty as it possibly could for that higher power level. Starting off with Bob. This is one that an old coworker at the old game store that I used to work at did for me. It's Bob Ross Deadpool painting Bob. So I really like this Dark Confidant, and I've been wanting to use it in something for a while. Next we have Dalthi Voidwalker. Really mainly here just to make sure that I'm exiling cards that opponents discard. So it's just a really good card anyway. I do have some proxies. Little Yoda Dockside Extortionist. I own all the cards that I'm proxying. They're just in other decks, and if I can get them, great, and if not, I don't care. If someone really complains that much, I will pull the real one I have out of another deck. Jace's Archivist for constant wheeling. Cataract Parasite. It's a 4-1. If I control a red permanent, whenever an opponent draws a card, they take 1. Or Cataract Parasite deals 1 to them. So it's just a 1-drop 1/1. That's a mini Nekusar. Kozilek just for shuffling. Opposition Agent to be cruel, again. Like, I am trying to stop opponents here. It's kind of hard to see with the way I have my camera set up, so hopefully this isn't too shaky. Things are looking backwards to me while I'm recording this, but I'm thinking that they won't be when the video's done. Anyway, Orcish Bowmasters, thankfully it's even stronger than the others because I can target anything. The Amass Orcs one is fine, but yeah. Some more burn. And Shieldred to do more. So, pretty small creature package. I could probably cut Dalthi Voidwalker and Opposition Agent if I really needed to, but it would be Dalthi first. A little bit overheated right now, so excuse me for a moment while I drink up some water. My body really was not made for this, for the South. Arcane Signet. I got a lot of rocks in here, of course. Chrome Mox. One of the stacks pieces, Cursed Totem. It interferes with Jace's Archivist and Dalthi's ability that I'm never going to use. Like, big deal. Yeah, it hurts Jace's Archivist because I have to pay blue and tap to Windfall, but I have a lot of different ways to wheel, so. Dimir Signet, Felwar Stone. Is it Signet? I've been taking Grim Monolith, actually, out of all of my decks, and I just got rid of all of my Grim Monoliths, so I ended up replacing them with Felwar Stones, because generally I need the color. Jeweled Lotus, Mana Crypt, Mana Vault. Next up is Mana Web. Kind of lighter stacks, makes opponents tap their lands down. Memory Jar, another wheel. Man, I really am shaky. Oh well. Mind Crank, I am running Blood Chief Ascension, so for the really easy Blood Crank combo. A Proxied Mox Diamond, I do own 2. You may have seen them in my other videos, so I'm not going to try to get another one. Proxied Mox Opal, I own 1. If I can get another one, great. Rakdos Signet. Soul Ring. Come on. The 3 Talismans. And Puzzle Box. That's one that actually looks fake, but it's a real printing. But yeah, more wheeling. Enchantments. Aether Barrier. Whenever anybody casts a creature spell, they have to sacrifice a permanent unless they pay 1. So I barely run any creatures, so it works out pretty well for me. Of course, Blood Chief Ascension, like I mentioned. Copy Artifact. It's just another rock at worst, so. Curiosity to get some insane draw power. Mystic Remora for, well, draw power, duh. Oppression. Whenever a player casts a spell, they discard a card. This is potentially one of the weaker cards in here. So if I do need to make some cuts, this and Dothi Voidwalker are probably right at the top of the list. So, Overburden. Now, the wording on this is not the actual wording. The Oracle text in Gatherer is a little bit different. What it says is whenever a player puts a creature card into play, that player returns a land they control to the owner's hand. It's whenever they put a non-token creature. So it doesn't matter when I'm making my tokens with Orcish Bowmasters and Waste Not. Those don't get affected. So because I run so few creatures and because Dothi is on the chopping block potentially, this shouldn't affect me too much. My stacks pieces were chosen to be as asymmetrical as possible. So it's a relatively light stacks package. It's really more just to screw with opponents while I'm trying to wheel them to death. Price of Glory. I have so much non-land mana. God, I am so shaky right now. That this shouldn't affect me too much. Whenever a player taps a land for mana during another player's turn, that land is destroyed. So I will use my lands on my turn and keep my rocks up for interaction. Rhystic Study. I don't normally play Rhystic Study in high power, but because this deck is kind of piling on some of the additional costs, this seems like it could be an additional, an okay stacks piece in addition. It is one of the weaker ones, so it may come out. Sigil of Sleep is 1 mana, the enchant aura. Jeez, when the enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, bounce a creature they control. Really strong with Nekusar and Cataract Parasite and Orcish Bowmasters. Underworld Dreams is another one on the chopping block just because of that triple black. It's really hard to play, but it is an enchantment version of Nekusar. And it's so gorgeous! I am not playing Sir Conrad or Wheel of Misfortune from that set. I am, of course, playing that amazing Waste Not, and that's just like a straight-up gore grind. That's a little bit fuzzy. Gore grind album cover. But yeah, that's... I'm not really doing a whole lot with making opponents discard, so I'm not running Liliana's Caress. I care more about them drawing. Got a decent interaction package. An offer you can't refuse. I don't like that it gives them mana, but it's so cheap to counter things. A nice etched foil, whatever, Japanese Counterspell. Countersquall, just a negate that shocks. Deflecting Swat. Dispel. Trying to keep my costs as low as possible, as I'm sure you can see. Fierce Guardianship. Wow, that was shaky. Fire Covenant, one of my favorite wraths, probably my favorite wrath effect in the game. Instant speed, kill things that you want to kill, and leave everything else. It's a really good card. You pay your life for it, but life is a resource in this game. Foil, Force of Negation. Gold border, Force of Will. I do need to get another non-gold. This is the... I have 2 non-gold. You know, I got 1 in Momir Vig and 1 in Niv Mizzet. This is all I have left. But hey, it works. This is Commander. Lightning Bolt. Red players, please play this card. You gotta have a good reason not to, in my opinion. Mystical Tutor. You really want to grab those wheels. Pongify. Blue players, please play that. Rapid Hybridization. Blue players, please play that. Swan Song. One of my favorite counter spells that I've been playing lately is Turn Aside. Counter a thing that targets a thing you control. Counter a thing. It's really good to protect your important pieces for just 1 mana. And Vampiric Tutor. Demonic Tutor. Gamble. I have so much tutoring that this really isn't necessary, but I really like the art. It's another card that's on the maybe could go chopping block thingy. Grim Tutor. Imperial Seal. So glad it finally got a reprint. Still way too expensive for what it is. A nice original foil, Reforge the Soul. Toxic Deluge. God, I am so shaky. I'm sorry. Can I keep myself still? No, I can't. I swear I don't do drugs or anything. I'm tired and I'm hot. I spent all day yesterday putting together a nice new desk and new chair, and I've been feeling a bit ill, so I swear I don't do drugs. Proxied Wheel of Fortune because I only own 1. Nice original foil, Whispering Madness. Windfall. And we've got a Winds of Change. Really only running that because it's 1 mana. I had Burning Inquiry in here for a little while. It's single red, each player draws 3 and then discards 3 at random. That could come back in over one of the cards that I might want to cut. And, well, we'll see. Last up, lands. Try to go through these as quickly as I can. Ancient Tomb, Arid Mesa, Badlands, Blood Crypt, Bloodstained Mire. Is this a real one? Yeah, I think this one is real. I have 1 or 2, I think 1 or 2 lands that are proxied in here, but again, I do own them. City of Brass, Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Flooded Strand, Forbidden Orchard, 2 islands, really like those oil slick ones, Luxury Suite, Mana Confluence, Marsh Flats, Misty Rainforest, of course you're going to run all the fetches, Morphic Pool, 2 mountains, really like those moonlit ones, Otawara, Polluted Delta, Scalding Tarn, Steam Vents, 2 swamps, another moonlit. I'm trying to get another moonlit of island. The only one I have is in Momir Vig. Training Center. I'd love to have one of each color for each deck, but whatever. Underground Sea. Yeah, I always get it in River mixed up. Urza's Saga. Verdant Catacombs. The Proxy of Volcanic Island, because I do have it in Niv. Watery Grave, and Wooded Foothills. There can be no greater cruelty than this.